What's up, future millionaires? It's your boy Jaren, and welcome back to the channel, man. Today's lesson, we're going to be breaking down fundamentals of option trading, right? We're going to be looking at what are options, how to trade options, what strike prices mean, the difference between in the money options and out of the money options, and overall just looking at an options chain, right? Because it can be complex when you are looking at it. And finally, we're going to be talking about theta, which is time decay, which I believe is the most important Greek in the options, in the Greek family for options, right? And it's very important for us as options trader to understand time decay. And my goal for you is by the end of this video to have a solid understanding of an options chain. So when you go to it, you can know how to maneuver in the options chain. So let's get right into it. So getting into this, the most important thing I want us to understand, just starting off, is the strike prices. So the strike price right currently is 747.03. This is where we are currently at if we was to look at our SPY chart, right? So after that, I want you guys to understand in the money versus out of the money contracts, right? So everything that is below the price 747 is in the money, right? So 747, 46, 45, 44, 43, and everything above is in the money. And you can see as we go up, the value of the prices increase, right? So you can see this one says $245.29, right? All of this stuff is increasing in value as you go up. Now, as we go down, it is slowly decreasing in value because we are becoming closer to our strike price, right? So 747 calls will be $2.09, but it will really be $200.09 because options contracts have 100 shares in it, and we will get into that into a second, right? But just understanding that calls are to the left and puts are to the right are very important too. Calls are over here. Don't get it confused. If you want the market to go up, they call it calls, right? So you're buying the market, you want it to go up. If you want the market to go down, you are buying puts, and you are wanting the market to go down, right? So everything that we can see above, again, is in the money. And as we go up, it increases in value because you become deeper in the money, right? So if you're at 500 and SPY is sitting at 747, you are $247 in the money. So each contract is $245.29 multiplied by 100, which give us a value of $24,529 for this contract, right? Now going back down to our current strike price, where we're at is 747. Everything below this contract is out of the money, right? And out of the money is you're betting that the contract will go up in value over time. It will increase, right? And that's when it comes to options. If you buy time on your side, that is perfect. But when we are trading contracts that expire on the same day, buying out of the money contracts, the contracts will be worthless. As we can see right here, this 759 call, which expires on the 3rd of August, is worth 1 cent. This is worth 2 cents, with $2, 756, $5, 755. So they're basically going to be worthless when we open up, unless we gap up to 754, 753. Then they can increase in value. But we can also see that contracts, options contracts, have different time frames. So we can go all the way to December 15th, 2028. Looking at an options contract, and as we can see, these strikes are in the money. 380 is deep in the money. That's why it's worth $39,800, right? And as we go deeper and deeper, we can see if you bought a $50 strike on SPY in this that expires in December 2028, the contract value is worth $69,500. But going down to our current strike at 747, right, we can see a 745 call is worth $1.64 for 100 shares which would be $12,264, right? And on the other hand, we have puts where the puts are worth $64.12 at a 745 strike, which would multiply it by 100, which would give us a value of $6,412. And the reason these are so expensive is because we are buying the time on our side, right? So we're basically buying 2 years of time because this contract expires in December 2028. So the likelihood of SPY going to 750, 755, 760 out of the money in 2 years is likely it can do that because it's only $20 away. So 760 in a year time frame, SPY can be at 1,000, and these contract values could be worth even more. Right now, for a 2 year, for a contract that expires in December 2028, December 15th, 2028, is worth $11,956. So I want you guys to meet my boy Nick. So Nick was always trying to find a way to make some money. One day Nick was walking through the mall and he seen some Gucci purses. He like, man, that's a nice Gucci purse, right? He like, man, those Gucci purses are selling for $50 each, man. Those prices are really high for those Gucci purses, but I really like them, man. But one day Nick was walking and he ran into this guy named Joe, right? And Joe was a supplier Gucci purses, right? And Joe was selling those Gucci purses for $25 each, right? And Joe was doing it if only Nick can buy 100 of those Gucci purses. So Nick had to pay $2,500 for the right to own 100 shares of Gucci or own 100 Gucci purses, right? But Nick only cost that he put down was this $2,500. He can't lose anything besides this $2,500 in this one contract because this is still one contract that can expire, let's say October 14th, 2026, right? So the contract expires on October 14th, 2026, or that's the day where he would have to sell all his Gucci purses if the value of his Gucci purses does not increase by October 14th. Now we know that it is August 2nd. So Nick has around 2 months for the value of those Gucci purses to increase, right? So Nick already knows that the Gucci purses are selling for $50, or each one of those Gucci purses that Nick bought, he can sell for $50 each. So those 100 he can already sell for $50. So Nick is already in the money because all he paid was $25, and Nick is already $25 in the money, making a profit or selling, being able to sell all of those Gucci purses for $5,000. We know it's August 2nd. The Gucci purses are already going for $50 on August 2nd, right? Gucci. But let's say September 1st, the Gucci purses are now selling for $75. Nick still has the obligation and the right to sell those 100 Gucci purses if he didn't sell them all in August 2nd. He can sell all those Gucci purses in September for $75 each, bringing in a value of $7,500. And that's just the way options contracts work. So let's say Nick bought a contract on spot at 740. We can see that the current price for the contract is $7.53, right? $7.53 for this current contract right here. Now we know that the contracts have 100 shares in one contract, right? So if we do $7.53 times 100 shares in this one contract, that will give us a value of $753 that this contract is worth, right? Now, on the other hand, we can see at 740, this strike price for the puts are at $0.51, right? Times 100 will mean that you're paying around $51 to own this contract. Now, an important thing with understanding these options is that you want to focus on getting in the money contracts if you're buying calls, and you want to focus getting in the money puts if you want the market to go down, right? That's why you see the value as we go down, the put value is increasing as well over here, right? So we see the 760 put is worth $12.80 times 100 is worth $1,280 for a 760 put, and because it's around $20 in the money for the puts, right? So getting the understanding of the options chain is very, very important, right? I know it's overwhelming at first when you look at it, but just understanding that these are strikes, this is where calls are, this is where puts are, this is in the money for the calls. Everything that's below 747 is in the money. So this, we have good value to it, right? That's why you see these puts over here are worthless, because none of those puts are in the money. We're buying a 728 put, right? You can see that we are at 747, so it's no way the market is going down there for you to be able to exit this position in a good standing, right? So you want to get a in the money put right here, a 754 put, a 753, a 750. Now they're going to cost you more because they're in the money. Another thing that costs you more is the time in which you buy. So the time value in which you buy contracts, it will increase the value as well, because if you have 2 years or a year to sell an options contract, then that's going to give you more time on your side for you to exit that position. So I hope this really helped you get the understanding of the options chain. I will be going over this more in depth in more videos and breaking down this options chain to you guys so you can get a better understanding of it as well. And now we're about to go over and lock in on our chart, right? So on our chart, we see these are our levels, right? So we see a 736 level right here. This was a major support level right here, 736. So what we want to go do is, at that time, if we were looking to take calls at our major support level around this 735, 736 zone, we'll be looking for a strike at that level, right? So 735, 736 right here. And we can see that the low of this contract was $568, right? The value of it now is worth $1,179, right? So it doubled its value from its last low. Now its high was $1,357. But if you would have bought this at the low at $568, that contract at 735 would have increased in value around $13, allowing you to sell now for a $600 profit, right? So that's the power of options right there, is when you know how to use your level, use your charts, and use the algorithms, and understanding it, like, okay, now we're in a strong green buying channel, and it formed us, and we can now push down and buy in again, and we can manage our risk and then things like that. Look, it's powerful, because now you could just understand that, okay, we are going to be buying up either in this green, or we're going to get a deeper pullback to these orange buying levels for us to start buying in again, right? So that's an understanding of using our levels with using the options chain, right? And understanding these strike prices and the values of the contract versus the values of the puts, and the values of the contracts and everything, and what we're willing to pay and what sellers are asking to sell. So we see this red side over here. So this is what sellers are asking. The sellers want to sell this 747 call over here for $2.13, $213, right? This is what they are asking for their prices, right? So if 737 strike, a seller is saying, man, can I sell this for $1,067, right? Now you got buyers who are, now the same thing over here. You have sellers who are asking to buy in at these prices as well, or sell at these prices as well. So the same thing over here, you have sellers, what they're asking to sell for their puts, right? So 166 current bid for it, the sellers are asking 168. 204 current bid for it, but the sellers are asking 206, right? And looking back at the chart, this is going to be important with understanding and how we manage options in our Discord, right? And how we're going to be using it from here on out, is the algorithms allow us to manage when we want to buy into the options, because it allows us to lessen our risk, allow us to manage our risk, and allow us to buy in when we know that we're getting key breaks and we're getting key signals of buyers wanting to step in and push this up. Like we can see in this signal the market gave to us in this green buying, we pushed up, tapped the green buying, sold all the way back down to the bottom of the green buying channel, and then we reactivated our buying strength because all buyers wanted to do was buy in at this strike at 737 and push price up another $10-11, right? So using the levels and the algorithms and understanding the options chain is gonna be helping you out a lot as well. But if you guys have any questions, y'all know, ask, let me know. I'm here to help. And I hope this video really gave you a key insight in the beginning of options trading. So peace out, and y'all have a blessed day.